On this episode of the Red and Gold Report, I'm going to be breaking down the second and third rounds of the draft for the Chiefs after day two of the NFL draft. And guess what? The Chiefs nailed two out of three of their picks on day two. So, day two of the draft for our Chiefs was an amazing day, mostly. The Chiefs came up on the clock 18th in the second round. But while they were on the clock, instead of taking a player there, the Chiefs actually traded away that pick to the Patriots, sliding down to the 22nd pick in the second round, and they picked up an additional fifth round pick in that trade. And you know what? I absolutely love the player that they got. With the 22nd pick, the Chiefs selected Sky Moore. Sky Moore, a talented, lightning quick wide receiver out of Western Michigan. Now, when you look at adding offensive weapons to your team, you want players who have something unique to bring to the table, a reason to put them out there, right? And Moore, he is unique. He is elite, absolutely elite with the ball in his hands. Now, Moore is under 5 feet 10 inches, but he is not a small player. He's nearly 200 pounds, which is very thick. It's a very thick build for a wide receiver. Really, it's kind of more of a running back build, right? And you know what? He had the biggest hands of any wide receiver at the combine. So he's short, but he is not a small guy. He's also very fast, running a 4.4 40 time. He uses that strength and speed to make it very, very hard for him to be tackled. He actually forced 26, yes, 26 missed tackles. 26 missed tackles last year as a wide receiver, which was the most by any wide receiver in the NCAA last year. So good luck tackling this guy. He has elite agility, and you know what? I get the feeling that he would win any game of tag that he would ever be in. He is a tough guy. He plays through the whistle, and he wins in underneath routes. He catches the ball well, and actually he had a drop rate of only 3.1% last year. He also had great production. Actually, fantastic production. He had 95 catches for 1,292 yards in 2021 and plenty of production in the 2 years before that. You know, he could start his career. I could see him really starting his career as a slot wide receiver, then moving outside with more experience. Though, you know what? Actually, he did play outside in over 2/3 of his snaps last season. So, with all that in mind, why did this guy not go until until the 22nd pick in the second round? Well, with his limited height, his catch radius is a little bit limited, of course. Though I don't ever remember that affecting Tyreek Hill very much, and he was the exact same height. Also, Moore played against lower competition, and he wasn't elite. He was good, but not elite on deep routes. However, I like this pick. Actually, I like it a lot. It was an excellent value pick. I mean, he was the overall rated 22nd best player on the entire board by Pro Football Focus, but he didn't go until the 22nd pick in the second round. I had him graded as an early second round or late first round pick. So this is amazing value. You're looking at a guy with a ceiling of a number one wide receiver and the floor of a quality slot wide receiver. And you know, again, this is a position of need, wide receiver. And I think when you put this guy out there with Mahomes, well, there's going to be some magic that happens. I mean, just get the ball in this guy's hands and let him go to work. And like the Chiefs' first two picks in the first round, this presents great value as really he could have gone easily 20 picks or even more earlier. And hey, real quick, if you want weekly Chiefs news brought to you right here on YouTube, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the little notification bell. Next up, with the 30th pick in the second round, the Chiefs didn't trade in and out. They stood pat at the 30th pick, and they selected safety Brian Cook out of Cincinnati. And the thing Cook does best is he tackles, and he tackles really well. Last year, during Cincinnati's storybook run, Cook had 93 tackles as a safety, 5.5 tackles, 4 loss, and 2 interceptions, and 9 pass breakups. He has good size. He's about 6'1" and over 200 pounds. He has a great, tough I'm in charge mentality when he's out on the field. He plays with a lot of passion. He's a very smart player. He's a field general. He's the kind of guy who in college he's getting everybody else in position. And like I said, he's a very sure tackler. He's just not going to miss many tackles. Actually, he only missed 7 tackles on 100 tackle attempts in 2021. That's excellent. But here are some real problems. He's not a fast player. He just isn't, and he's not a special athlete. And while he was great in 2021, he did not grade very well in 2020 or 2019. So he's kind of a 1 year type of product. And there's a real possibility because of his skill set that he could be limited to more of an in the box safety role in the NFL, which, that skill set isn't highly valued anymore. He also could maybe be the third safety, the first one coming off the bench. I had him as a third rounder in this draft. PFF had him as the 71st player. Bleacher Report ranked him as the 91st player in the draft. Yahoo Sports had him as 84th. So taking him 64th in the draft, it's not like this massive, ugly reach, but it also isn't a great value either. I would have rather, if you were sitting there at the 30th pick in the second round, I would have rather had players like Central Michigan's offensive tackle Bernard Raymond or Oklahoma defensive end Nick Bonito, although I'm higher on Bonito than others. Or you could have taken defensive tackle Travis Jones out of Connecticut. Or hey, why not package that pick together with a 4th and 5th rounder and try to jump up for defensive end, maybe like Ojabo from Michigan. So this is not a terrible pick. That's not what I'm saying. It's an okay pick. But I think there are better possibilities and options on how to use this pick on the board. But guess what? The Chiefs got back to their excellent draft at the end of the 3rd round where they drafted Leo Chenal. I'm really excited about this guy. They didn't come into the 3rd round. The Chiefs, remember, they traded one of their 3rd rounders away during the 1st round to jump up and get McDuffie. And so they had just one pick in the 3rd round, and it was the 39th pick. That's almost in the 4th round, right? This compensatory pick. But they knocked this one out of the park. They drafted a player with a top of the 2nd round grade at the very end of the 3rd round. That's amazing value. That's getting a guy almost 2 full rounds after he should have gone. Chenal is huge. He is a huge linebacker. He stands 6 feet 3 inches and 250 pounds. He is built more like an edge defender. He's built like this brick out there. But he's a good athlete too. Some people in the draft that kind of thought he wasn't. Oh no, he really tested well. He ran a 4.53 40-yard dash. He had 34 reps on the bench press. That's offensive line territory. He had a 41-inch vertical jump. That's phenomenal. He had a 6.84 3-cone drill that shows a lot of agility. All of those numbers are excellent. Now, he led the nation's top-rated defense last year with 115 tackles while receiving PFF's 3rd highest run defense grade they've ever given to an off the ball linebacker. But I mean, really, not just last year. He received the 3rd best grade that PFF has ever given to an off ball linebacker ever. And he had an unbelievable 18.5 tackles for loss last season. Like, this guy is just fantastic against the run. Now, his toughness and his power are excellent. When you watch him on film, he has a great punch, a great drive. He has a relentless pursuit. And due to his size, running backs, they do not run through him. And honestly, he can go toe to toe with pulling offensive alignment. He's the kind of guy who just loves the game of football. He is a football player. And even though he is a great run stopping off ball linebacker, he also gives a lot of flexibility because he can blitz the quarterback too. Actually, he took 102 pass rush snaps last year, so Wisconsin knew that he was a good pass rusher. He made it home for 8 sacks. 8 sacks as an off ball linebacker. That is more than some of the top rated defensive ends in this class. So he has some real serious versatility, and he has improved his grade every single year in college. Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, How does a guy like this last until the late third round? Well, he shouldn't have, but he really is very limited in pass coverage. That was where he's weak. He is not great in pass coverage, and his play diagnostics and discipline do need some work. And also, he has kind of short arms for his frame. But do not be mistaken. This is another excellent pick by our Kansas City Chiefs. This also solves a position of real need for our team, as well, the Chiefs really didn't have anything resembling an acceptable third linebacker on the roster. But it also gives the Chiefs a player they could use at defensive end at times. And hey, we are desperately in need of some help at defensive end. So that was the second night of the 2022 draft for our Chiefs. Two fantastic picks, in my opinion. One just okay-ish pick, but hey, that's still a huge win. Really, Sky Moore, Leo Chanel are hugely talented players. They could have been taken much higher. I'm excited to see them both go to work in KC this fall. But let me know what you think. What do you think of these picks? What would you have done if you were the GM? Would you have been trading up and down? Would you have taken these guys? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to keep an eye out for more draft reviews this weekend coming up. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you have not done that. Hit that little notification bell as well. Go draft and go Chiefs.